Welcome to Problem Solver Politics, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Cardin Ellis, with Cody the Oracle.
Hey, everybody.
And we got a pretty cool live stream planned out. It looks like Eric Swalwell lives. His legacy lives on. We got to get this out of the way from the very, very beginning, all right? If there ever were an important topic to start out a live stream, it would be this topic. Cody, tell us what's going on.
All right, so the news of today, I guess you would say. I was looking around trying to figure out what's going on tonight. What is there to talk about? Well, and I mean, talking about news of the day, this was reported on BuzzFeed News, who I believe I won't get into BuzzFeed News. Anyway, and as you mentioned, we're harking back to our good pal Eric Swalwell from California, who ran for president.
Great man.
You know what? If everyone who ran for president, he got some of the least out of it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Joe Biden on his live stream, because obviously in the current age, you know, with current events going on the way they are, a lot of live streams are being done for interviews for a lot of things. I think moving forward, it's going to be a bigger trend. However, there is one thing to keep in mind. When you are doing a live stream at home sitting on your couch, sometimes you get a little bit comfortable. And it's being alleged Joe Biden got a little... Can I just get one thing out of the way, too? Just
okay.
I know we're talking about it, but we're not we don't pretend we're like investigative journalists. We mostly just talk about what we see.
Yeah.
I love how BuzzFeed News has their breaking, the little... Over 100,000 people have passed due to the coronavirus. Wow. Hold on, though. There was a pretty loud fart noise during Joe Biden. Let's get into the Joe Biden fart. And the reason why I say it that way, because again, we're obviously talking about it, but later on in this article, they mentioned that the BuzzFeed News, they reached out to Joe Biden's campaign for comment on if he did fart or not. And apparently, they did get a response. However, here's the thing. Honestly, they kind of buried the lead here. The lead is that the Joe Biden campaign refused to confirm or deny if it indeed was a fart. I mean, as far as we know, as far as BuzzFeed's reporting, if I'm reading the reporting correctly, when reached for comment, the Joe Biden campaign did respond. However, they offered no confirmation or denial. So we'll get through.
They had a snarky comment that actually was really, really funny, and I'm going to memorize and use for half of my responses. Do you have pulled up what they said?
Yeah, well, hold on. Before we get too onto that, let's go to the tape, right?
Oh, yeah. You got to play the original.
We're going to go to the tape. Now, give me 1 second.
Roll the tapes.
Hold on. I almost turned our audio on, and we had our royalty-free music playing in the background still. So.
Oh, that's funny.
Apparently, according to chat, ain't no one want to hear that. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. We're working on getting our old intro back. However, this was the actual video right here of Joe Biden in question. So I actually have it queued up. You can see this is hold on. Let me prove it. This is the verified Joe Biden. This is the video as it appears on Joe Biden's account on YouTube. So we're going to roll it. It happens at about 20:49. So about 5 seconds in, we're going to play this a few times, and then we'll talk about this breaking story, so to speak.
Firefighters, police officers, and cut critical healthcare programs, or stop work on roads and bridges. So what does the human cost
for whatever reason, the video there loaded a little bit weird. Let me hit back. But you're able to hear it a little bit. Give me a second to reload this webpage. So the video will load up again with it. Unless, are they really in the process of taking this down? No, they're not. There we go.
Giant.
I mean, we're going to play it again. I'm going to play it again with the face. Watch the reaction of Governor Tom Wolf here. So we'll run it one more time.
You don't have to cut those teachers and firefighters, police officers, and cut critical healthcare programs, or stop work on roads and bridges. So what does the human cost?
Okay, 1 second. I have to admit, holy cow. I had been listening to that mostly.
That was juicy.
I had mostly been listening to this clip. Full disclosure, the first 4 or 5 times I heard this, it was through the monitors here in the studio. There was a fan on. Honestly, I was about to be like, this is ridiculous. Why is anyone talking about this? This could have been a million things. I'm going to play it one more time. Listening to it through headphones, I've kind of got a different stance. Play it one more time. I want to play some. We're going to go Zapruder film on this. But one more time. Let's listen to it.
Firefighters, police officers, and cut critical healthcare programs, or stop work on roads and bridges. So, what?
Because here's the thing too. I don't want again. We're not necessarily going to the tape here. Not breaking it all the way, but we have to go to the tape. But I do have to say the cadence, I guess, of it definitely. we'll get to Eric Swalwell, who
Was
also has
that
something
a
like
fart or was it hitting the floor, man?
the what's it called? The rhythm of it definitely. Here, I guess here's a better way of putting it. It definitely had a very organic sounding rhythm, right? It didn't sound like the kind of thing. Eric Swalwell's defense, I think he said was like someone moved something quickly. We'll go to the Eric Swalwell video.
Except
in a
for
second.
Eric Swalwell stops for a second. You
didn't
can
move,
tell his
yeah.
diaphragm was
But-
like, ugh.
But my larger point was, and you know what's crazy? And here I want to get to the larger context of this. But what's interesting though, I will admit, I did not know it sounded that bad until I heard it with the headphones on the last few times. However, this is something like we can lie and pretend this is something that's a reality of doing these live streams like this for people that are. Eric Swalwell is a little different. But like, dude, Joe Biden's how old? Like, we sort of pretend old people don't fart. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird, but it's one of the things of having these live direct thing. I guarantee you millions of politicians have probably trying their damnedest. I'll commend them. Accidentally farted in public.
Yeah,
I
but-
guarantee you millions have. The only thing is, it's funny is when we're doing these live streams like this. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. If you look at Tom Wolf's face, I got a better idea actually. The people at BuzzFeed actually put together this moving image of the reaction of Governor Tom Wolf when the noise was made. It's actually hilarious. Someone pointed out on Twitter, it's identical to a reaction image that gets posted on Twitter a lot. But it's weird, A, but B, it's also one of those things that I think is so ridiculous, goofy, and superficial that is people care about it. You know what I mean? People still talk about it. I mean, I brought it up. I guarantee you some of you guys in chat, when you first saw this, remembered this. Some of you that I like how they framed this, that a lawmaker denied ripping an absolutely enormous fart on light television.
Uh-huh.
This is, of course, talking about our boy, Eric Swalwell. So we'll play the Eric Swalwell one, which is on MSNBC. And then
I can't believe when I started this channel, I had no idea. I would be listening to multiple politicians' flatulence for more than once a decade, and now it's twice in like 5 months. This is beautiful.
There we go. Here's the 5-second clip of Eric Swalwell from November of 2019.
Taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help them cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard, taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help them cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard from Republicans, taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help them cheat an election. And
However, let's get to the more, cause that's the goofy stuff of it. Again, I guess, hold on. You wanted to bring this up. I want to make sure I show this. So, again, BuzzFeed did reach out. And again, as far as I know, as far as I have read, Joe Biden would not confirm or deny that it happened. So when reaching out for comment, a Biden aide did tell BuzzFeed News that they are glad they are putting resources into this important story. And then one last thing, because here's the other thing I think is interesting.
Uh-huh.
And you know what? Maybe it's one of those kind of sappy moments, right? But maybe farting is one of those things. We can all clown on someone farting.
It's funny.
I mean, BuzzFeed News, they're not, as far as I know, I don't think BuzzFeed News is actively trying to get Donald Trump elected, right? This doesn't feel like blatantly partisan spun media in bad faith. And the BuzzFeed News audience, I mean, 56% of people in the poll voted that it was indeed made by Biden. With the next highest majority, there is 17% who gave the benefit of the doubt. 4% or 8% said there was a fart, but it wasn't Biden. It was either the other Wolf or one of the people in the studio. So
Oh, Wolf ain't taking the blame for that.
But
His
look
face is way too surprised, and he wasn't shifting in his seat. Somebody in the comments brought up a really good point that you can hear the chair creak right before it hits. Okay,
We'll play it one more time.
And
we'll,
I
we'll
can't-
go to the footage one more time and see. if
and
we
then
get-
I got something to say.
for
We
the-
got to watch this
I
one
wanna-
more time, though.
I want to hear that chair creak. 1 second, though. I need to pause this first. Here we go.
Making sure you don't have to cut those teachers and firefighters, police officers, and cut critical health care programs, or stop work on roads and bridges. So what does the human cost of
The reaction of Tom Wolf actually is pretty hilarious. He's just kind of like, what do I do? What was that? But here's the thing. Here's the thing that's interesting about that, right, though? No matter what like, how do you prove? There was, I wish I had it pulled up. I probably can't show it for copyright. Do you remember, Cardin? You might remember this. There was a super viral Super Bowl commercial. I think like the person who made the commercial actually won like $1 million prize. There was like
Really?
some contest. Maybe that was wrong, but I remember there was some gimmick to it. And the whole thing was that a guy's going to put his bag in the overhead thing in an airplane, right?
Okay.
And it makes like a farting noise with the door creaking. So then he like keeps trying to like make it creak again to show people that he didn't fart, and it was the thing. And it was, I think it's called, and I think I've seen other shorts called like, oh my God, like the replication theories. But that's a very noted thing that if you make a noise that sounds kind of like that, people are just going to assume that's what happened. So I was thinking with Joe Biden, like you look at this video, and even beyond that, I could show the video. There was, BuzzFeed News wrote an article about it, and if you just type in Joe Biden fart on YouTube, on Twitter, and see people talking about it on Twitter, a lot of people. This is the person who said it, by the way, that this is the face he made, and it really is the exact same face. But a lot of people, for whatever reason, are talking about the Joe Biden fart.
What do you mean, for whatever reason?
BuzzFeed News was the most ridiculous one.
It's hilarious. That's the reason.
Oh, and then they did one of these videos too, where they do the fake
infrared.
Yeah, terrible stuff. But it's hopefully, all I'm hoping, because I have to admit also at the same time, now there's one other second controversy. We might have to get into second. Another controversy, but we'll get into that second. First though, I don't think anyone who was voting for Joe Biden isn't going to vote for Joe Biden because he farted in the live stream, right? I don't think anyone's going to be like, well, that's it, too far. Is there anyone, let me know, maybe there is somebody, let me know in the comments, let me know in chat, is there anyone who's like, I was up to here with Joe Biden, and then he just went and did this, and now I can never, but I feel like most people would support him. However, there is some controversy to the, I don't even want to get in it, it's like too crass to even talk about, but I guess you could say the depth of the alleged, the alleged fart here, but it's
the flatulent.
Yeah, well, I guess did it go beyond that? Is the second controversy we're having.
This is what's going through my mind, Cody. I think there's actually slightly deeper implications to this than people realize. First, I'll hit the super chats because they are relevant to my commentary. First super chat, thank you very much. Travis Greenhagen says, the country, quote, depends on Joe Biden. Travis, solid 9.5 out of 10 for puns. Solid. Are you indeed a father, Travis? Because if you are, I think that's an 11 out of 10 because becoming a dad makes dad jokes that much cooler. I loved it. Ironically enough, puns are the most intelligent form of humor, Cody. So you have to warm up to these before you have children.
That's a big citation needed right there.
No,
I'm not going to just get away with saying
sarcasm is the least intelligent form of humor.
Oh my
and
God!
Puns
hey,
are the most intelligent
that's
form
a
of
really
humor.
big cite. If you look at like a 90, like a parentheses and quotation mark, it's like on Wikipedia when you see a claim there's like 40 citations because everyone's like refuting it.
Yeah, so Sly Cactus also said, this is some real breaking wind news. Oh, keep them coming, ladies and gentlemen. I will read your super chat jokes all day long, any day of the week. Love them. I do have to say, Cody, this is not good for Joe Biden. If this were anybody else, I don't really think, like the Swalwell thing just died overnight because at the end of the day, Eric Swalwell isn't fighting off this stereotype glazed over memory care great grandfather that you're going to
Definitely
visit.
doesn't make you look younger.
It does not make him look younger. Like at first we were worried about his memory and now we're worried about his incontinence. Cause I got to tell you, that was juicy. Like dog, that was juicy. I don't care what anybody says. I'm pretty sure that was a wet fart. Okay.
It is pretty. I mean, I will, because going back to the Swalwell one, like I said, there's a certain like cadence or a certain rhythm to it. We'll play it again. Some people just joined chat. We'll play it again so you guys can hear what we're talking about. Because it is absurd. It really is ridiculous we're talking about this. However, it is weird, man. Sorry, I'm just trying to get it queued up. Here we go. We'll play this one more time. If anyone who just joined who wants to know what we're talking about.
Firefighters, police officers, and cut critical healthcare programs, or stop work on roads and bridges. So, what does the human cause?
It's the kind of thing where every time I hear it, I just laugh. Like I can't. The Swalwell one, you can kind of like, honestly, like if you think someone moved a chair or something, this one, it's like, ugh. Like any excuse you give me, it's like, dude, why did it go on? But again, whether or not someone, because I mean, it's the reality, I'm sure, with different cameras and different microphones and different scenarios, people do things all the time during these interviews we don't normally hear, right? But so do you think there is a there? Like, do you think that will be some people who are like, you know what? That's it. Biden's senile and old if he's farting on camera. Like, you think there is that crowd? 'Cause I think it's not going to hurt
This is the crowd. This is the crowd. Okay. There's a lot of people who have not been plugged in. We talk about the muggles all the time because the muggles are the ones that choose elections. The politically disengaged are still that independent middle ground that's thinking, oh, I'm a Democrat because, you know, they're pro the gay guys and the Hispanic population, and I'm for those people. I'm for them, right? And they don't realize, because they're not plugged in, just in what bad shape Joe Biden is, because all they do is see pictures on occasional headlines, sound bites, and occasional news reports. Okay, but when this breaks through the noise of the fluff pieces that CNN and all the other broadcast news media sources are putting together for Joe Biden, they'll say, wait, he farted? Wait, and it's just, even if it's only shaving off 1 or 2 people, you know, or 1 or 2 percentage points, it's not helping him. Like, and it's completely feeding in to this stereotype that he is not physically capable of serving. Joe Rogan 2 weeks ago said, because of his physical composition, I don't think he is capable of serving. And this has not strengthened the argument for Joe Biden. And if it's not you and I know, if you're not strengthening your argument, you're weakening your argument.
How about this? Why don't we just go? Why don't we go to the let's go to the comments. He did not. Okay, a little bit of forensics here. Is that the nonsense goofy word you use for this stuff? That, first of all, the Joe Biden video on his account is being ratioed with 531 downvotes to 465. Which, you know what? I'm gonna give it an upvote, man. Cheers on him to keeping this up. He could have pulled this down easily.
Yeah.
Check this out though. Let's read some of the comments. So, Jesus Christ, the farting was real. Governor Wolf wishes he could eat them. I'm not even gonna like it when they forget to turn off comments. I was surprised. I 1,000% thought when I was scrolling down, there's no way comments are enabled on this video. This is right here. This is one of the most popular ones. Came here for Joe Biden farting from Blorp Weatherby. It's the most popular. Who poops in my pants? But like, you'll notice this definitely struck a chord. There is a lot of people who rushed in here to talk about Joe Biden's farting. But is it? Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and make a case for why it helps Joe Biden to fart on camera. I'm not. But a lot of these people normally have never gone to watch a Joe Biden stream, so he's got that going. Marketing.
Oh man! So Trumper for Yang asks, YouTuber to YouTuber, have you ever farted on mic, or at least close? Just hit mute in time and don't lie. Talking to you, Cardin. LOL. Here's the honest truth.
Imagine voting for Canada.
Is I'm trying to think of a time I could not, maybe a really tiny one I could get away with in the studio, but I got to tell you, this is such an enclosed space that if Cody or I ever truly ripped one, I think it would be catastrophic. So I can, in 100% good conscience, say that I can't think of a time where I actually ripped one in here. Because that would be absolutely brutal. However, it is possible, and there would be no fart gate here because we've got these things. Mine's actually not hooked up right now because we move things around. We've got the silence buttons.
But to the point,
the cough drops. If you got to sneeze or cough, you just press this button. And I guess if you got to fart, you could press this button.
But like
too.
to that point, I will also say, like, I'm not a 90-year-old man. No, it's not as big a problem for me as it is for, I guess, Joe Biden. Like, that does. I guess you're right. It is weird. For Eric Swalwell, it's just a goof, right? Nah, he's a young.
Another pun.
But for Joe Biden, it is kind of like, dang, dude, are you really that old where you just like can't help yourself anymore? It's like, imagine that. Like, imagine, I don't want to get too philosophical, but imagine if the president's in a meeting with like, you know, some world leader and he's like, you know, has a moment like that, right? Like, that can't be good. That can't be like, I can't help. I mean, you ever seen that scene? Ever seen the movie Step Brothers?
Step Brothers. It's such a generic title. I'm thinking of like
you remember it
movies.
if you had seen it. It came out like 10 years ago. It's pretty recent. With Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, where they fart in a job interview and they lose the job. But it's I don't know, man. I guess this is the biggest thing to me.
What?
The people believe it's real. The people are under the understanding
perception is reality.
That he did it.
Sly Cactus brings up a good point. He says, so what you're saying is, wait for it, he is an old fart. Oh, that's like an 8.5 out of 10. That's a slap shot from
Yeah, but
a third across the ice.
It's again, right? Like kind of like the problem that like.
Like, well, come on,
It's-
but this is
it's one of the
serious. Like,
reasons why
what
I
if the
think it
Queen
matters
came
more
to
for
visit
Biden
him?
than other people.
Like, what if the Queen came to visit him and she's
Oh,
sitting
no.
there,
Not the
and
Queen.
Joe Biden like just rips one salaciously on her,
Hold on, I want to point this out.
and the poor Queen is sitting there, and she's trying to like. She's trying to muffle her face with her kerchief or something. Like, this could be bad, man. If he can't hold that cheese in, do we want to have
Okay, so
amongst the leaders of the world, it just well known if you show up to the G5 summit, Joe Biden is going to fart on you?
Okay, but how about this? Let me know in comments. Let me know in chat. How many people legitimately would switch their vote based on farting? I have to say, if you're the kind of person who's like, well, I was going to vote for Joe Biden, but not today, not anymore, not after that. That was, how dare he disrespect America, right? Like I don't know. I feel like the people, it's kind of one of the things that happens a lot of time when I read like anti-Trump headlines, for example, just using him because it's like, dude, I know you, and every day you just write one of these, right? Like people who just every day are like, Joe Biden senile, Joe Biden senile, Joe Biden senile. Like, they're just going to keep hammering. You know what I mean? Like, there isn't like, I don't know how many people are going to be like, no, Joe Biden is not old at all. And they're going to see him fart and go, wow, I guess he's old, right? Like, maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's the kind of thing where it's not this fart, but it's the fifth fart from now when people are like, dude, this Joe Biden guy's out of it. But I would legitimately feel bad for Joe Biden if he lost an election because he farted at a debate and it was like people are like, that's gross, how dare you. Like, that would just be so weird.
So
man.
we got a couple of people who've joined right here and are asking what on earth is going on. Andy Meows comes in and says, just joined, what the hell
Oh,
happened?
yeah, I love that. But shout out to who was it? Sorry, shout out to.
By the way, Ethereal says,
who said, "Yeah, we bullying
old people." Like,
yeah, pretty much.
okay,
That's what's
first
going on.
off, how dare you call him old? That's ageist. Okay.
How's it ageist? He is old.
No, I was kidding. That was a joke.
Oh, sorry. You had to explain it to me.
I was adopting the language of mine accusers, or of my oppressors, as you say. But I will say, to me, it's just really, really funny. It's not bullying. It's funny. And it does, however, have, I think, some on a small scale, lasting implications on what people think about him, especially in light of the fact that he is living up to every stereotype of somebody who is not physically capable
Well, I think
of
that's the story,
handling.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's living up to every stereotype of somebody who's not physically capable of executing the office of the presidency.
But okay, remember, the reason why I wanted to bring up the Swalwell one as well, though, I don't think anybody said like, oh, Eric Swalwell.
Because we don't think that he's on the verge of
No,
incontinence
but
like an 85-year-old would be.
No, I agree. That's my point. That is interesting. And someone brought up, I think it was Dad is Mad. I think that's what it said. He asked if he said if it was a wet fart, then he would. I got bad news for you, man.
By the way,
we're
this
gonna
guy
run
should
one
just
more time. We're one more time. Ready?
He should just own it. Just admit to it.
I
Just
just-
own it. People fart. It's the fact that he's hiding
Eric
it that's
Swalwell
funny.
wouldn't own it either. He wouldn't.
Firefighters, police officers, and cut critical health care programs, or stop work on roads and bridges. So, what does the human cost?
Okay, I will say one thing though. That is definitely a sound anyone recording audio needs to be keenly like.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care if it's a seat cushion creaking. Just try not to have things that make fart noises around, especially when, like you said, you have a people are saying that Joe Biden's old and crazy, and you have him like letting one rip on camera. It's not good, and I agree with your point there. It's just weird to me because like fundamentally it feels so ridiculous to be like, so why did you not vote for Joe Biden? Like, well, I was on Twitter one day and he farted in the live stream, and I'm like, that's just unacceptable. I mean, I refuse to support somebody. Like, how? I mean, that's just so disrespectful.
Well, the
to America.
dishonesty
Like,
of it. It's not the disrespect.
The dishonesty.
He farted and he should own up to it.
Let me say
if
something.
he can't
Hold
own
on,
up to a
hold
fart,
on.
how's he going to own up
Hold
to
on.
waterboarding
Wait.
people extrajudiciously?
Was it Charles Barkley that said that he who was out sin can cast the first stone when it comes to lying about farting? Tell you what, yeah. So
Name a time I farted on you in studio, dog, during a live
that's
stream.
not the point. No, the point is, I think which one amongst us has not been dishonest in this situation, right? Like, it would be when it comes to politicians and the lies they lie. Joe Biden lying about farting is way better than Joe Biden lying about all those people he probably got killed when he was vice president. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh no, how dare he lie about it? It seems absurd. I do agree, though. The only angle that makes the Joe Biden thing a little bit more interesting to talk about is just the fact that he is old, and it does have a second meaning, right? It's not just embarrassing, like, ooh, haha, it's like, oh, dang, is Joe Biden that old, right? And I definitely think that's to it. It's weird. I don't know, man. I really don't know what I think. I feel bad, like someone said, I feel bad just clowning on old people for being old.
No, but we're not doing that. He's running for the
president.
single most intellectually and emotionally and physically, I would say, difficult job in politics, outside of maybe possibly during wartime being, I don't want to say commander-in-chief because the president is commander-in-chief, but like a 5-star general of the Navy, okay? Like, I mean, this brother is asking the American people to entrust him with some super difficult situations. All right. You know, and if you can't just like stop stuff, I mean, I all I can say is he's living up to every stereotype. By the way, we've gone 31 minutes talking about this. So, I mean, I guess we can move on to another topic, but
well, I mean, remember BuzzFeed reached out for comment. And again, that's the ultimate lead here, guys. That's the give. Yes, it's weird, but I mean, the Joe Biden campaign was reached out to, or an aide or a spokesperson, right? Was reached out to and point blank asked, was that indeed did we hear what we thought we heard, right?
uh-huh.
And they did respond, and all they said was their response to BuzzFeed News. Glad you're putting resources into this important story.
Which is a total
non-denial.
yes.
But yeah, non-denial. They did not deny. So keep that in mind. Nobody said Joe Biden didn't fart.
By the way, how did this intern know whether Joe Biden farted or not? Because either he felt super conscious about it and said something, or that room stank.
That's the other thing, right? That's the other thing, right? Where it's like, how could I confirm or deny that someone else farted? You know what I mean? Like, how am I going to be like, I was there? I mean, really, you can't. You have to just... Yeah, it's a tough spot. But at the same time, it is worth noting there was no firm denial. There was no, that was absurd. Joe would never do that. So now we know Joe Biden maybe would do it, according to his own people. That's what gets you every time. But I don't know. That's ain't looking good for Joe.
So, I got to tell you, I'm reading the chats here, and I'm responding to guys in the chat, and they bring up some good points. With Swells, I think it was Fartgate, because nobody doubted that was gas coming out. This should be called Sharkgate.
Well, because that's the question. Right? Yeah,
because
what was the veracity?
The veracity as in the truth of it, or the voracity as in the voraciousness of the fart? Because that was a voracious fart.